Yes, I told you, of course, that there will be a new ground report. Why am I saying ground report? That was this morning. I'm talking about the corridor transformation. Brand new. We're going to be dynamic. We're going to be static. We're going to be in your face. And we are going to be, of course, relevant. Yes, indeed. You may ask, well, why this song tonight? You're going to know a little later. But let's take in some more. Yes, indeed, of course. A pleasant good night to all on Century, East, West, North, South, Central, or Friends in Tobago. And wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, a pleasant good night to you. Well, that song, apart from, of course, the dynamism and what I consider to be the effervescence, the lyrics itself, to me, suggested that we have a Trinidad and Tobago that we have to hold and cherish, and that we cannot leave it in pieces. I think this song is very, very relevant. Cannot afford to leave Trinidad and Tobago in pieces. So when you think that the creativity of our soca and calypso artists in too many instances may be considered to be irrelevant, the fact is that we can bring relevance to it depending on your perspective. So Trinidad and Tobago has been in shambles. And so we have a duty and responsibility to mend the pieces. No, it is not like Humpty Dumpty, where we could not bring Humpty Dumpty together again. No, it is not that. It is Trinidad and Tobago that has been traumatized, has been decimated. And I'll tell you in what context I'm speaking. not the physical context, not some kind of what I consider to be natural disastrous phenomenon like an earthquake or a hurricane. No. It is as a consequence of decisions made by a political organization that questionably gain, of course, authority and power in this country and has brought Trinidad and Tobago to the point where the succeeding administration, which is, of course, the Kamala Persad-Bissessar administration, now has, of course, to do a mending job. Of course, we have been saturated. We have been pulverized with, of course, contradictory and illusionary utterances of the current opposition, which was before the 28th of April last year, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, which inherited over $12 billion in reserves. And by the time they left office after 2 terms in 2025, that reserve was reduced to a mere $4 to $5 billion. More than half of what they met. Yet still they have the audacity as opposition today to somehow tell us, as if we are fools, as if we are nincompoops, as if we are acidine specimen of inhumanity, as if, of course, we are that dotish or we are that unintelligent to accept the nonsense that they speak on a daily basis, cacophonous babblings. And of course, a level of what I consider to be desultory narrative, mean that they're here, there, and everywhere to give the impression that somehow they were doing well and left, of course, the country in a state where one has to conclude that the present quagmire, the present decadence, the present travails is the doing of the current Kamala Persad-Bissessar-led administration from the 28th of April last year. I want to not just disabuse, but I wanted to, of course, highlight the dishonesty we can go far as to say criminalistic as well as unpatriotic. And, of course, monofocus on attempting to hoodwink, deceive with all kinds of what I consider to be disingenuous, misinformation, disinformation, in order somehow to gain political traction. Well, I say we must take the wind out of that sail and once and for all have it sail to the doldrums where it will be discarded as a political organization and as an entity attempting, of course, to hoodwink, deceive, and to engage in activities designed to what? To have the population be so deceived and attempting in the process to try to, of course, generate some kind of nostalgic, meaning past preference, past attention, past alluring, to say that since we had URP, CPEP, and the forestry program under the PNM, that somehow the policies and programs of the present administration lack genuine, humane, altruistic, and concern for the ordinary Joe in this country. I say to you, do not be lured. Do not be deceived. Of course, we are aware of the biblical account of the devil, not just in terms of the deception in the Garden of Eden, but also when Jesus Christ walked at this earth, attempting, of course, to deceive someone who cannot be deceived into providing ham, lamb, and jam in the context of Trinidad and Tobago. You understand what I'm talking about. And so, to generate the ultimate disaster, the ultimate tragedy, the ultimate travesty, the ultimate destruction. But let's go straight to the line. Let's see if things are working out tonight as we did on the last occasion. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Are you hearing me? All right. Let's go back there. All right. I've seen a little difficulty with the call back. We'll see how we can rectify that. I saw that there is a slight problem that I'm sure that we'll be able to rectify at this point. But the point I am making here is that they got a wholesome Trinidad and Tobago in 2015. Let's go and see what is happening here. Let me just hold on, caller. Hold on. Don't go. Let me make sure. All right, let me make sure. Right. So we have this, and let me just do this as well. Just a minute. Right, okay. All right, are you hearing me now, caller?
Yes, Uncle Lennox.
All right, good. Beautiful. All right. Yes, man. Go ahead and make your contribution. But of course, I was just getting started because I'm so excited with the new format of the corridor transformation that we have been working very, very hard, Joshua and I, to get, of course, organized and delivered to you. But go ahead.
And first, I would like to say a pleasant good night to each and every one who is listening and the people in the surrounding areas. I call upon you to rally around Uncle Lennox and Joshua. You've seen results. You've seen a change. And I would like to say a pleasant good evening to each and every one. So as we move forward, right, or east, west, north, and south, and all in sundry, contribute a little dollar, right? I don't think it's hard, but we can still make it if we try. But yes, Uncle Lennox, congratulations on the way forward and rolling out your dream and to leave your legacy behind so that you know that you pass this way only once, but you leave your impression, your footstep in the sand as a reminder you were here. And if the PNM for over 70 years had us only rendered the garment onto the hill for the people would have come out of bondage. Right? And just as scripture was fulfilled last week, that God knows that He sent in His Son, they will kill Him, they will condemn Him, and they will persecute Him and spit on Him. Is just as my honorable, esteemed political leader and Prime Minister, the Honorable Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SC, they will want to treat with her. Because she come back here as a leader to move these people out of following the wickedness of the PNM. Because just as Pilate and this one, everybody washed their hands. They had nothing to do with that. And they lead the people now to persecute her. But I will ask you tonight, Uncle Lennox, why does Penelope Beckers, Camille Robinson Regis, and Foster Cummins, and Marvin Gonzalez, right? And you know that fella who only have a face for radio without YouTube, Keith Scotland? They're supposed to be telling the supporters how much money they leave in the treasury and how much how much business and entities of growth, contract, investment from foreigners, foreign investment, that is big word. They had left an ongoing project to uplift Trinidad and Tobago. Because you know what I get to understand, Uncle Lennox? That Keith Rowley and Stuart Young didn't intend, and in there, didn't intend to uplift back this country. You know? I stayed at plane. I just go by the name of Mr. Faizabad. Right? I said it on your program that Stuart Young be sorted out for thieving money. In there, for thieving money, they're not misappropriated because you cannot budget, borrow, and you're not showing the development for it. And Rowley and India and Stuart Young, they were the fellas signing deals to enrich themselves and not the country. And I watched Stuart Young come out on a press conference because here what's going on. I is a taxpayer and I could ask questions about my money, just like all can ask questions, Stuart Young, I asked him. Because you know what? I want Uncle Lennox to work on this math and give Joshua this math problem to solve in the classroom tomorrow when I'm listening to him. $300 a week. That is $300 or 3 blue notes a week. A mother of 3 had to buy food, had to pay bills, like bill and water rate, send the children to school, right? And then pay for transport. How to live in with that high kind of cost of living we see under the PNM? That you couldn't even offer a 5-pound flour, eh? And prices will keep going up because they say what? Traded block. And it didn't have no war yet. It's pre-COVID, after COVID. Eh? Tell me, Joshua, what are the maths? How that mother was surviving? And then, here the next part of the question. And property tax is based on $18,000 rental value divided by 3%, but you bring it down to 2%, and that's what you have to pay for the month. So for the month, you're working for $1,200, right? But you had to pay in their property tax at 2%, $1,700 a month, and you're a single mother working URP, and you have to send your child to school and pay for them and to put food on the table. Joshua, I will give you $1,000, right? If you work on that month and you tell me what is the profitable and how is the liftment in the URP workers and them, and how the benefit for the last 70 years and the last, I'll give you the answer, 10 years, for the last 10 years, how they elevate themselves. And if you give the nation a reply, I will ask your Mr. Lennox, who I just call Uncle Lennox, to give you airtime on the ground report, to vent it, to show people that URP on that $600 a fortnight, they was making plenty money, and they was very well off. Yeah? But they want to push the narrative our way that when UNC win, everybody win. Because you know why? You don't have $1,500 to pay for the month, you know. That is $1,500. You have to find, thief, borrow. As some of them say now, they have to lie down like simp with their foot up in the air. Eh? You don't have to do that to get that money to pay in there, you know. And you see, he collect $155 million in a little bullion. Where that money going? He said it's not going to the consolidated fund. It's going to the regional corporation. Eh? The local election coming. That was the singing and they're flying up for it all. All of be stupid and left for Star Cummins. But before all of vote for the PNM, ask the mayor Port of Spain, right? When last the books and them was audited, and when the spending to develop the human capital and the environment of Port of Spain as a capital of the country, where the money gone? Far too long, far too long. So Uncle Lennox, and for Christmas, the star is up here in the east. Just as for Easter, it is ride a donkey. So others, and all of we, and me too, will have eternal life and go without sin. But you see, when it have people like Foster Cummins, Marvin Gonzalez, Camille Robinson Regis, Penelope Beckles, and Stuart Young, they are fellas still in the cabinet, the opposition, right? They have questions to answer, and where the money all they leave. How much all they leave? Just tell me how much all they leave. So Easter time, somebody just asked me behind the phone here, who is the donkey for Easter is when Jesus came
Yes,
to go, right? So they want to know, right? And so we have to, like the trend and they're going down, that is these makeshift to keep them in bondage as a voting machine for them. That is all there was. Because the contractor at CPEP, just to push the paper, write down the name on the paper and drop it St. Madeleine, they were getting hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know. And the workers who actually doing the work out there and being bullied and modernized slavery, they were working for $100 if so much, to cut grass. Now, man, and you know why I get to understand, Uncle Lennox? You see the program that the Honorable Local Government Minister Kadisha roll out? You know, it have people breaking up the type sheet. It's not, they can't read and write, it look like, because they're not putting on the people name properly on the ID card, and they're only going with a name, which is an alias or a nickname. And they're not putting down the people name right on the pay sheet to submit it. So when they're making mischief, right? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your trend I thought is very good and you're going on the right way. So just as here, I'll plug it for the while. So you could let them know that how these people were called Camille, Beckles, Foster, Marvin, and Stuart Young. Ask them how much their family benefit and how much their constituents and the vulnerable in their constituents benefit. Uncle Lennox, God bless you and Joshua. And I like your rollout and to see you're making it happen in Jesus' name. In a little while, I get our call back.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, well, what's happening? How was your call? Good. Yeah, yeah. All right. Good. Yes, yeah, yes, indeed, people. We we have, in essence, touched on, if not all, but certainly a substantial portion of the contribution made by the caller. And I allowed him to, of course, vent, because this is what this is all about. But remember, as the program rolls out, it means therefore we will have less and less time. So I'll have to emasculate, or should I say, constrain some of the time, because we are going up to 9:30, and I want to strictly adhere or stick to that commitment, simply because I have to get up 2 o'clock tomorrow morning as well to prepare, of course, for the ground report, which, of course, is what I consider the premier national program. This program is designed for the East-West corridor. So you will understand the different roles that I have to play in terms of making certain that the information reaches, in terms of specificity, East-West corridor, and in terms of generality, the national as well as regional, hemispheric, and international. So, of course, I want to commend, of course, the caller for that particular contribution. But let's go back to the theme song to, of course, make certain that we understand clearly what we are about and what we are doing, because it is about they haven't left Trinidad and Tobago in pieces, and it, like Humpty Dumpty, whilst the nursery rhyme will say that they wasn't able to put him together again. Here it is, the UNC under Kamala Prasad Bisesa has been tasked with the miraculous, or the miracle to be performed to put Trinidad and Tobago together again. Yes, indeed. And therefore, of course, yes indeed, yes indeed. They have left Trinidad and Tobago in pieces. Those of us who are conscious, those of us who are nationalistic in terms of our commitment to dedication and indeed efforts, it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with the avarice, as the caller rightly said. It was about self-serving, greed, and the utilization of office To what? To pursue unmeritorious wealth and gain, and then come back in opposition and tell us, or try to deflect attention away from that fact. We will never, never succumb or never gravitate to that level of hoodwinking and attempt at brainwashing. We have to be conscious. Never again the PNM. Never again that despicable, horrendous, tragic, and disastrous group of individuals assembled sometime in the past. I don't even want to recollect. As far as I am concerned, they should be delegated or relegated to the dustbin of political history in this country. And yes, I understand the pain. I understand what I consider to be the travails. But it is said, once you are a human being, two, you have the capacity to adapt and adjust. At the end of the day, the human spirit and the collective and individual focus to move Trinidad and Tobago out of the quagmire and the morass that it has found itself. And you only, as I said, that is just one cog or one aspect. The fact that they had $12 billion in 2015, and then by 2025, and the elections of that particular year, last year, 25, you only have $4 billion US. And mind you, they came into office in 2015 on the basis, among other things, that people couldn't get US dollars for an exchange. And during that, what I consider to be barbaric and underdevelopment and poor policy choice period, 2015 to 2025, we have seen a situation where the banks have to say only $100 and then reduce it to half in terms of your credit card. Yeah. And more than that, opportunities for earning foreign exchange by virtue of the Point Lisas industrial estate that focuses really on the generation of foreign exchange by way of the petrochemical industry, a major exporter or part of the 80% of foreign exchange earning capacity of Trinidad and Tobago, quite apart from the oil and gas sectors. 11 companies were made to leave because of what I consider to be the irrational, inconsiderate, and poor judgment of the PNM administration. 11 companies just hightail out of, beginning of course with what? With the steel mill. Yes, we had a steel mill, as some of you may, because of the length of time that it has disappeared from Point Lisas and from the country, yes, we had a steel mill, you know. The 11 other companies, and don't get me vexed before I bring it to your attention now, you know. 11 companies gone from Point Lisas. Point Lisas was designed, of course, to work in concert or in sync with the gas industry of Trinidad and Tobago, NGC being, of course, the what I consider be the pivotal point. The centrifugal force of the promotion of those diverse areas of economic, or put another way, commercial activities to generate foreign exchange by way of taxes, whether, in other words, whether directly or indirectly. And 11 of these companies were made to leave our shores, leave Point Lisas. And I can recall with a high degree of consternation, concern, and of course, ideating on what will Trinidad and Tobago become if we do not have foreign exchange to provide for our foreign taste that, again, the PNM was responsible for over the years of being in office. You have to blame them. So when they talk about the syndrome associated with the emergence of a particular industry, and you forget that which you would have depended on previously. What is it called? Stockholm Syndrome? In other words, when gas and oil was discovered, there was a propensity to shift away from agriculture and the various niche, unique commercial and economic opportunities therein that could have been developed side by side or juxtaposed to or simultaneously with, of course, the oil, gas, and eventual petrochemical areas. That did not and was not the focus. However, what we witnessed was the most bizarre and the most dangerous for any economy, where you had, of course, the installation or the institutionalization of corruption, nepotism, and cronyism. We will deal with that after this call. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Hello, good night.
Good night, my friend.
This is Mr. Winter.
Hi, man. Yes, Mr. Sando. How are you? Long time no hear from. Yes.
Yeah, I was ill the I'm recovering.
You still recuperating? All right. Okay. Well, we wish you a speedy one.
I had an illness. I was in the hospital for it.
Okay. Well, I wish you a speedy convalescence, and I trust that things will be all right moving forward. But you're singing damn good. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the contribution I really want to make is by all the sickness and everything. You know, I received that call from my brother.
Okay.
Right. When I just came out and I was under heavy Valium and stuff, so you know I was kind of like sleeping every day, kind of resting, kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I received that call from my brother that there was an accident at Skinner Park.
Oh yes. I'm
And
familiar with it. Yes, yes. That cyclist that died as a
yes,
consequence. Yeah, they're saying that the facility itself would have contributed to that, and of course there was a lot of questions about that facility, including of course having a football field where of course you're kicking a, a offside or a goal kick is
uh,
almost inside of the net itself. But go ahead, go ahead. I know that you would know more
well,
than me.
yeah, well, I know more than you because let me tell you something. Just now, let me take off this thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can't have we can't have myself competing against myself and you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me tell you something. I actually grew up on that ground. I played football on when before they started this new ground here, long
Okay.
years ago.
Right, right.
And let me tell you something. I believe it was in that same spot where that cyclist died
Yeah.
that another person had died right there. You know.
What?
Yes,
Okay.
and but he was I don't want to call the name of the person.
All right.
I know the person, right? He used to live right in the back by me.
Okay.
But I live in on Point Pier Road, he on Person Street in San Fernando.
All
And
right.
anybody who was around that time, I was a little boy then when it happened,
Okay.
right? It was a I don't know why they had allowed that motorcycle event to take place, but as far as I understood, he stood up on the bike, and as the bike was going, he picked up some speed and crashed into the fence
Yeah.
and died. You know.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what I want to say, in growing up on that ground, I think I remember even before the last election, I was saying that ground is not fit for any kind of sports because even Hazley Crawford, right? I used to see Hazley Crawford training there, right? And he was training for the 100 meters, for that same 100 meters that he won in 1976.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and if you're running 100 meters, right? I said it. Sometime just before the election, once you change up the whole demographic of the ground, right? It became smaller.
I see.
So it would feel as though, boy, I running 100 meters, but like I only go on 75, right? And as they reach the 75, you're on a fence.
Right.
When
And that if that is so, then it means therefore somebody who is training for that level of athletics, the Olympics, will be living in a fool's paradise.
yeah, because you see, in
Yeah,
running
because
100 meters, you
because
have to
this
have the
100
faith.
meters would have finished long before a real 100 meters. So it means therefore he would have had a lot to be desired. He will be lucky if he didn't come last. But go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
But you see, all athletes go through injury, right? And if you run 100 meters right now on that ground, you're going to get things like muscle bound and all that kind of thing when you're small in the ground because the authorities have been trying to configure the ground even to the lights. Because when you have the lights that up in the air, the poles,
Yeah.
once you try to configure, you see it's like they do the thing and it after the fact,
Okay.
right? I would say that if I was doing that, I would think in terms of I mean I'm not an engineer, but I would do a small replica of anything that I'm doing, and then I'm an artist. So if I have to paint, do something big. I might do, if somebody commissioned me to do something big, before that real commissioned piece of art is done, I would do a small replica to see where what can change, what not,
Right.
and then do the bigger thing,
Yes.
right? But it was that ground was badly planned, and I've been saying so from ever since, right? And it was not good even for the cyclists because I understand from people who know, right, that that track was supposed to be at an angle, a more an angle, right? When I say an angle, a slight slope. But if you make it smaller and everything becomes smaller, people will crash and die because they're
Hmm.
going in a race. If they don't crash and die, they will fly off the track.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Because I did do some preliminary research on the subject, and they said that the
mhm,
angle for cyclists they give it a particular term, but I remember
mhm.
distinctly that it's supposed to be at least a 45 degrees, so that the
32, I
centrifugal
think it was.
force, that's the
Yeah,
force that pulls people to the center. If
yeah.
not, if it's a flat surface or almost flat, you could create all kinds of problems because you simply are going to go in directions where you have no control because of the speed that you may be engaged in. So I got a fair idea as to why what occurred may have occurred. In fact, I think it's now the subject of an investigation. And
It,
of
it,
course, one of the things obviously must be considered is whether or not they could consider that place to be a velodrome, which of course is a place where cyclists would of course practice their skill
mhm.
and their profession. But go ahead, yes.
Yeah. You see, okay. I play even on the football, right? How long on a normal international field, right? Even when before they configured that small ground, before that ground, the ground was bigger, right? How long does it take to okay, a corner kick from from the corner of the goal,
Yeah.
right? How long does it take to kick a football? Because the football, I mean, okay, a gallon of water is 10 pounds, right? To kick a football, I think it will be less than 5 pounds, right? So, but it must have a certain amount of weight so that when you kick it, it will move through the air at a certain speed or whatever,
Speed,
right?
velocity, yes.
So, if you kick on a normal ground, it takes about 5 to 6 seconds to reach the center of the goal when you kick it from the corner.
Mm.
Once you small down that you bring down that ground, right? To anything less than what it was before, right? That ball probably will just take about a second to reach a 2 seconds to reach the center because it's closer to the goal.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. You're almost in the goal, as one commentator would have said, criticizing, of course, the renovation that was effected
Mhm.
and it turned out to be defective. Effect,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah,
uh, um,
renovation that was effected turned out to be defective, and we have seen that recently manifested, of course, on the cycling track itself as well.
yeah. And I was watching them one morning. I think I took a pass down. And I saw, no, the two goal posts was from before, was from east to west,
Uh,
right? And one morning, I think I passed down by the park, and they were trying to configure how to replace the goal post, the two goal posts, and they put it north to west, then they shift it north south to southwest to east west, and they kept shifting it until they didn't even know what to do with it. Until
hmm.
the mayor I think wanted to play some football match and it couldn't be done.
All right, all right.
So,
Yeah,
it,
I understand
so it,
the mayor has made an intervention as well and made a comment that
mhm,
stringent and detailed investigation would take place with respect, of course, to the outcome that
mhm,
turned out to be tragic as far as that cyclist is concerned. A very famous guy it turned out to be as well. I wasn't aware, but a lot of accolades went out to him for his
Yeah.
tenacity and his develop and contribution to the development of cycling as a sport in this country. Go ahead.
But yeah, yeah, well, when my brother called me and told me that, somebody died on the cycling track. And then later on, I got the news that it was a cyclist where they were doing a race. I was really, really disturbed. They should really have some investigation into that. If not an investigation, because now you'll end up spending millions of dollars just to have a commission of inquiry or whatever. But mistakes like that, it's like you're trying to correct it after the fact.
After the fact,
And
yeah. After a
yeah.
tragic fact, in fact. But let me
Yeah.
ask you something. Do you think, in your estimate and your consideration, that the authorities that were more concerned with preparing that particular stadium for the purposes of Carnival and Calypso Fiesta, as opposed to really and truly providing A-class facility that would be devoid or reduce the risk of damage of the type that we have seen, both in terms of the football and in terms of the cycling? Do you think that that might have been foremost in their minds, having regard to the fact that fiesta is usually seen as a P&M event?
No,
All right.
I would put it as an act of stupidity.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Why I say so is because, as I told you, right, any major projects, right, that you're doing, you should have some plan as to how to do it. If you don't have a plan, now you see, technology and all of that has improved. Now you have AI where you could make up a
Yeah.
a
A
small
draft.
replica,
I know
a
what the
draft.
outcome, the possibility
Yeah,
of some of the flaws and some of
yeah, that
the
so
attention areas that one should pay. But
should should
clearly that did not happen on this
yeah.
occasion.
You see what should happen as the city grows, right? And there is no small replica anywhere, that in San Fernando here. Not well. I think Jillian John and they have some plan to redo the city of San Fernando, right? But I would think that doing large projects, you should make up like small replicas and see what could be done, and then from there, like, okay, that's it. Let's just take that same skin apart. If they had a small replica, just how much does it cost to do a small replica of what that ground is? They make it up, because in larger cities in abroad and things, they do that in it, right? Before in China, let's just take in China. In China, the government has engineers on their side, right? So they don't do anything without the engineers coming in. Right? The politicians themselves don't make decisions just to say, make a decision, and then you do a project, and the project, you know,
Vike without these uh, impacting elements, because
yeah,
of course you have wind, you have the east-west journey of the sun, for example,
uh-huh,
depending on the particular type of the type, well, the particular time of the year, whether it's rainy season and so on, and you look for the impact of the elements and so
yeah,
on and so forth. Yeah.
the,
Apart from
the,
that is the atmospheric part of it, but then of course the integrity of the material that may be used,
that
the
they use,
yeah
right?
yeah
Because
the the,
yeah,
the 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 movement of the earth itself in that particular area, all of those geotechnical matters must be taken on board. I mean, after
yeah,
all, it's millions of dollars you'll be spending, and it can't be something that is vike and
right.
and haphazard and a hope that it will
Yeah,
turn out well.
hope that
I,
it will be
I,
right.
I don't want to use the classic example, but I think it's appropriate here because Imbert's engineering firm did do a stadium in Grenada, and after it
Mm-hmm.
was finished, the entire thing collapsed.
Collapse.
Yeah.
Okay, to give a perfect example, right? In Paris, let's take the Eiffel Tower, right?
Yes.
They had to study. No, that is a very high um, um, piece of structure, right? Remember it going up into the air.
Yeah.
And when it goes up into the air, you will take into consideration the wind. The wind could swirl that, right?
That's
So
right.
you had to
That's right.
construct that. That was constructed with a certain steel
Yeah.
that when the wind takes it, it will bend, you know.
Yeah.
But the steel
But
itself, that kind of steel, is a certain steel that they use to
that will
build
be
to build that.
that will accommodate the
Yeah.
the impact of the wind. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
saw that in the construction of that tall hotel in Dubai, where of course
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
of that yeah, and it was exposed to the sea blast, if you want, what we call the sea blast today. They built an island, in fact, to accommodate that hotel alone. I think it's the tallest hotel in the world, and
Mhm.
it sways with the movement of the wind at certain times of the year, because they would have studied that and understand the geo, or should I say the the
The
hydro,
demographics,
as well as the
right?
wind dynamics. Yes, um,
So,
so as to make sure that you don't endanger people's lives.
yeah. So when it comes to the Skinner part,
Uh,
right? That was done very stupidly. You understand what I'm saying? Talking about, okay, you say it was done for the carnival, even the mass people and all. Yeah, even the mass people and all had problems,
yes.
using the stage and all of that because yeah. So you understand what I'm saying? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all yeah,
Don't
all
mind the
in all,
movement on my lips. I mute the mic to talk to somebody in studio, so that's why you
yeah,
may feel that I'm not I'm talking, but you are unable to hear. That's because I've muted the mic.
yeah, yeah. All in all, I just want to say one last thing here.
Yeah, go ahead.
That one last thing that I want to say. Condolences to the family of the cyclist, right? And I do hope that the authorities know. I I do hope now. You hearing me?
Yes,
You hear it?
loud and
Right.
clear. I still got disturbed in studio, so I had to mute the mic. But go ahead. Yes,
Oh, okay. All in all, I just want to say one last thing. Condolences to the family of the cyclist that died, right?
yes.
And I do hope that the government itself, I don't know how they will tackle this problem, but it seems as though these square pegs in wrong hole continue. Square pegs in wrong holes continue to exist in our society. I know that it can't be 100%, but if we think about it and everybody, contribute to letting this government take a firm stance, people should be taking a firm stance against projects that, we tend to look at as though it's not in our interest. But all of these things shows that things can go wrong, yes, but once
You could
it's not
minimize it. You could minimize it
yeah, you can minimize it.
almost to zero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, almost
by
yes,
judicious and technical and intellectual and should I say application that would of course take safety into consideration as an optimum. All right, I hear you. Yeah.
yeah, right. Because one last thing is that as I had this illness, I even get to understand a little more. Even with the system, the present system we have, it's really terrible, right? It really, really, really is. You
Yeah.
know,
All
um,
right.
you know,
we have another,
So,
we have some other calls coming in, so I want to,
yeah,
yeah, okay, thanks very much for calling.
yeah. All
And
right,
once
okay,
again, of
all
course,
right,
a
okay,
speedy
all right.
recovery, right? Yes, okay,
Yeah,
goodbye.
all right, okay, all right, yeah.
Let's see if we get that call. Let's see if we get that call. Let's see if we get that call. I know that it is ringing at this point in time. All right, caller, you may have to call back. Hang up and call back. Hang up and call back. In the meantime, of course, this is about picking up the pieces that was left by, of course, the previous administration, claiming that somehow they are not culpable or responsible. But let's go to the line. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Yeah, Dr. Lennox.
Yes, pleasant good
Oh,
night to you.
how are you, sir?
Well, as good as could be in the circumstance. Miss you
Yeah,
guys, but duty. Such.
yeah. So I'll be very brief.
Yes,
Um, the last caller touched on that Skinner Park issue, right?
yes,
Right. Now, I don't know if you can remember, that Skinner Park cost taxpayers $151 million.
yeah, yeah. And of
So,
course, we
uh,
had said is the burgeoning political slush fund that the PNM would have been engaged in, and I say so without fear of contradiction because there was no need to construct libraries and the proliferation of community centers. I can understand the justification for police stations and health centers, but certainly community centers is something that is obsolete as well as libraries, because nobody uses libraries to the extent to which it would have had to be used when, of course, digitization and the readily available of smartphones, etc., and computers did not exist at that point in time. But go ahead. I just wanted to make that intervention. Go ahead.
yeah, but what is most interesting is the cycle track and the football field. Now,
Yes,
the football field is not up to FIFA standard, so no football game can play there.
that's right. No serious football
And
game. Yeah.
second, right, and secondly, the cycle track was deemed to be a death trap. A lot of people had concerns about that. So how come this thing cost taxpayers $131 million? And I haven't heard the PNM call any press conference because they were instrumental with that,
Yeah,
right?
they were the ones
The cycle,
that led the charge because they were in charge at the time, and
right?
one would have expected that that would have been a serious concern, except for the mayor. The mayor has said that some investigation would take place, but I think that is more superficial and attempting, of course, to maybe save face, so to speak, as opposed to a serious question as to why it is that such monies were invested and such a poor result.
Yeah, because let me tell you this, right? We have this gentleman died. I think it was Good Friday. They had a international cycling
Yeah, it was
meet.
a Grand Prix, so to
Right,
speak, of
right.
cycling, and
And he died. He died Friday night, and you like still continued races.
okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. All right.
Yes, they still continue races.
Okay.
So, uh, so and people still continue to complain that that place is a death trap. And no, and I haven't heard anybody voice their concern. In fact, it was hardly the mainstream media them hardly feature that on any publication for whether it's electronic or print.
Well, I know the mayor expressed, as I say, I consider it to be superficial concern, but
Hmm.
outside of that, it didn't get any media traction that such
No,
a
no, no,
tragic
none at all.
situation ought to have. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
We have
none at
another
all.
caller coming on, so I
But
want to, yeah.
and I will touch on the last subject here, the Prime
Uh-huh.
Minister. Um, she's going to select a team for a diplomatic in Venezuela on the Venezuelan issue, diplomatic team to go to Venezuela. So I expect, and I think you get it from me today. I expect the PNM will have a press conference on that tomorrow.
Yeah.
That they lay the groundwork. They lay the groundwork for that.
Well, I think
And you
that too they have scuttled because she was short young. I mean, you can't get it higher than that. That said that the government seemed to be to have a phobia, a fear of going to Venezuela at the governmental level. Now that they are going, I can't see him having any argument again. So he has settled that alone.
But what I'm saying is that they will come up with a press conference to make it clear to the public that they lay the groundwork for that visit.
Yeah. But you see, people like you and I will focus on the fact that why would you be so preemptive, if not presumptuous, and wait and see what has transpired, and then of course the question of relaying the foundation, would have been what I should extremely valid with very pure in terms of an argument. But if you are presuming that the government is afraid or somehow have left the negotiations to an entity like Shell, and it turns out that it's not so, it takes away the credibility or the credit that you could now take, and that seemed to be the tendency of this opposition. They seem to be always shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, but the point is this: that at that time they were sanctioned.
Yeah.
So what they are saying bears no substance.
But yeah,
Because
I'm glad that you mentioned that because clearly that too would be a as I said from the beginning, having heard what you have said, that that's a non-issue, and therefore they can't take credit. And then, of course, as you rightly said, it was at a time when sanction had taken place. Maduro and his administration was persona non grata regionally, internationally, hemispherically, and now that things are settled, again, the present administration made the right moves. So I can't see how they could justify the argument now that it is they who laid the foundation. They will continue to look as buffoons, in other words.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so you take care, my friend. Yeah,
Yes,
you
man.
take care.
Okay then.
Right.
Thanks very much. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. People, of course. And another caller was calling. All right, so let's take this call now. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Lennox.
Good night, my friend.
Dr.
Yes.
Martin is it.
Yes, indeed.
All right. You see, you know why they removed the sanction from Delcy?
Uh,
So our Prime Minister and her delegation could go and meet with she. Before she was sanctioned, so anybody who go and deal with she, under pressure.
but don't you think it was a natural result of the outcome of the intervention, and it was inevitable? But of course you make it even more sanitized.
Right.
More sanitized. Yeah. I agree with you. Go ahead. Yes.
I want Small Pin to tell us if we could get back all the money that he was spending to get the Dragon Gas deal.
Well,
Because if he was spending all that money, we shouldn't be doing no negotiation. It should be on a plate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I am. That's why I had to talk in the way that I did with the last caller, because he is anticipating, which I know that they will try to take credit for it, because it for them somehow, even though they would have made a mess of the entire exercise, and it was a debacle in itself, they believe that somehow the sycophants and the typical Trinbagonian would listen to the nonsense and the hogwash and the deception and the what I consider the irrelevance that they would project simply because they have a mic and a camera in front of them. But I'm sure that the population will be discerning, and they will not give that any kind of consideration, having regard to all of the circumstance and the actions of the present government to separately and apart, and in spite of what they try to do, it was only a trial. It was only an exercise in futility. Whereas, of course, this one in just under a year, you were able to get, of course, very fruitful results from something that they were trying for over 10 years.
Listen to
Go
this.
ahead, my friend.
Listen to
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Now let me tackle the Skinner Park debacle. And
Yes.
I'm going to use four terms: corporate manslaughter.
All right.
We know your playbook, or Halloran policy, and friends and family benefited from it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to throw the question: did the Gravel King spend any time to facilitate that construction with gravel? Why have they continually, when they were in government, failed to implement the procurement legislation? Because every contract the PNM basically execute, there is a 10% for somebody follow the money. That is since thy kingdom come. No. The biggest issue, you remember the inquiry into the 4 deaths of Paria? The man say corporate manslaughter,
Yeah.
negligence. Juxtapose that to the Cycling Federation, which is an organization, corporate manslaughter could be, might be, and today on another police program, I asked them the question front and center: have the police this time insert themselves into the death of a cyclist in Skinner Park? You remember they avoided, they didn't even insert themselves, probably at the last stage for the Paria death. A death is a death. Now the police have to insert themselves and should have been on the site right away to determine if it is a crime scene. If you look at the video, the stadium was not lit up properly. The cycle track had many shadow areas. Where the incident, the accident, the death occurred was in a shadow area. So, my conspiracy mind tells me, suppose the man was elbowed and thrown into the railings, but nobody is saying that. So that is why I am saying it could be negligence on the Cycling Federation as an organization. The police this evening said, yes, that is a critical view that you are, and they are hoping that the division in
Uh-huh.
San Fernando will have a look at it. You can't have a death and within an hour you continue the meet, and there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed. First of all, the angle of the cycling track. Who validated that it should have been a cycling track fit for international thing? And more importantly, a death occurred. We lost a life. Are we going to stick that on who was the Udicott man? Who tried to say it was money well spent for a FET match facility? We were telling them for the longest while. I think the Honorable Minister of Energy before, Anil, all of these people say it is not fit for purpose. You understand? So I am very, very concerned that the police they were not shown that they inserted themselves to do a proper and thorough investigation. If it is a crime scene, they're supposed to have isolated. Because if something untoward happened, and you sweep up immediately to start back the activity, then you're tampering with evidence. So, corporate manslaughter, if found, somebody is culpable. Agon?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, uh, I am always amazed with the level of intelligence of callers, and that's why you have to interact, and because you share information. I don't claim to be the repository of all information, and I really appreciate, of course, the contributions of people like that who have clearly spent some time studying the various issues that they will bring, of course, on this program from time to time. But of course, the focus is what is on, of course, picking up the pieces, and of course, with a new found, let's say, zeal and zealousness. But let's hear this. Oh, oh, well, people, of course, we just have about 5 more minutes. Yes, it's already 9:30, or heading to 9:30, very close to 9:30. And in a few minutes, of course, we will make our exit. But just want to make sure that you understand that we are here Monday to Thursday. We're going to skip the weekends for the time being as we put the other cog or the other elements of the program in place. Joshua will have his. He was just here on holidays, but he said that he wanted to say something. I'm not seeing him. I'm in studio here with, of course, other members of the team. But the ground report will be tomorrow, of course, from 6 to 9. But tonight, we have come to the end of the what? Of the corridor transformation. Just what you want. Last time it had so much damage. Just go away and give me back in pieces. Yes, indeed, people. Of course, I don't know what conclusion I can draw. All I can say that the issues that would have been raised are very critical. Trinidad and Tobago was left in pieces, and so we have to find ways and means to bring back the whole. It is not a nursery rhyme. Trinidad and Tobago cannot be subjected to the impression or the characterization of a nursery rhyme. That, of course, Humpty Dumpty couldn't get together again, or couldn't put together. Nobody could put it together again. Well, the Kamala Prasad Bisesa UNC led administration, of course, with the coalition of interests, are putting Trinidad and Tobago together again. Of course, tomorrow night we will look at the whole question of the hardships. We have to be real. I think we have not been sufficiently focused on this particular aspect of a decision to close down URP, CPEP, and so on. We have to face it. And of course, I have a duty and responsibility. It will be remiss of me if I did not address it, having regard to the barrage of concern and walking the streets of East Port of Spain, George Street, Tennyson Street, Piccadilly Street, Laventille, Beetham, etc., if these matters are not addressed, and towards a solution. Because if at one time it was part of what I consider to be the amelioratory or the social and economic interventions that kept body and soul together, talking about community wise, because the micro business person selling soft drinks and confectionaries and so on, they no longer can afford to give credit, because they know that those persons who would patronize their businesses a major credibility consideration and decision to provide credit is based on their association with one of these programs that would be well known within the community. There has been nothing to replace it. And even though credit is being sought, because we have established that people really do not depend on these programs for 12 months. You could only get 3 fortnights, a total of $2,100. So where the rest of the money coming from for the rest of the month? And if you assume that a fortnight, 3 fortnight is a month and a half, or let's say 2 months, it means that for 10 months, where the money coming from to sustain the family or to sustain yourself? You see, I'm saying so because I don't want you to believe that that particular program, as the PNM would like you to believe, is the alpha and omega of your existence for 12 months, year come, year go. You will be doing yourself a disservice and attempting, of course, to pursue the agenda of the PNM to make it look as though and to give them unmeritorious, of course, access to power, which is what they are looking for in opposition. No. We know that things are less salubrious, are less palatable, are less, or put another way, more difficult. I want to say that. But we must also understand that it would have been worse under the PNM. Yeah, I say it would have been worse under the PNM. And it will be worse if you only take God out of your thoughts and decide, of course, to be gullible, to be vulnerable, as the word we use today on the ground report as a part of the word of the day challenge hosted by yours truly would have indicated. More vulnerable. You never could tell where the PNM would have gone. What we know for sure, that they were prepared to engage in horrendous draconian measures. The intent or the focus of the present government to put taxes, higher taxes on alcohol and so on, shows a particular pattern. Whether or not it will be counterproductive in terms of gaining the taxes that is required to manage the financial, the fiscal part of the economy and the society, we're going to examine that. But what is clear is that they will not have engaged in a property tax scenario. They would not have engaged, and they have not engaged in, of course, residential electricity increase and water rates. And from that perspective alone, because the underlying factor or the underlying feature of philosophy is that we are in a challenging time, brought on again by the PNM, having left the society, left the economy, left the treasury in such a state of what I consider to be impecurity, of poverty. So we have to rationalize. No way. In spite of, but we know also that there will be a silver lining at the end of the rainbow, at the end of the challenges. That much we know. And what we are seeing, whether by divine intervention or by man-made, what I consider to be circumstance, the fact is that oil prices have increased, gas prices have increased. We have a deal for cross-border gas in the making with and solid. It's solid as a rock. It's not skepticism and you go to Venezuela, Congo line and come back and say it's a massive, unprecedented, but the Americans put sanction and you try to make us oblivious to that. You yourself fooling yourself into believing that somehow you are greater than the hegemony of the United States, and then it falls flat. But you get into elections mood and you win elections with a fantasy, and then you dash that hope. No, not so in this case. It's solid as a rock. It is as immutable as a scent, and the inevitability of success equals to when night gives way to day and vice versa. That is how certain it is, and as constant maybe as the northern star. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. All right, because I say he ain't coming, so I was going off. But I said that he wanted to just say hi and hello. So come in, Joshua. Come in, Joshua. Yes. Come closer to me now, man. I ain't seeing any in the frame. All right, good. All right, good. Okay.
All right, everybody. My daddy. One thing I have to say. But really, one thing, my man, pizza like a mango.
Go ahead, talk. I just showing them the classroom and that you would be, of course.
They have to see me for this one.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that the classroom is being prepared for his program from about 5 to 10 thereabout. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Mama, I always tell me to say one thing. Hi. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. So this is the classroom that you will be seeing. This is the classroom you'll be seeing in due course, where Joshua will be at the helm. We still have some polishing up to do, but we will get there eventually. All right, people. So have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless, and see you, of course, tomorrow night. When we can. Don't forget, of course, tomorrow morning, the ground report, Andy, Michael, and myself, as we continue, of course, with these and other issues.